For 23 years, the official record said table tennis simply modernized its serve rules to speed up a slow, boring game, but the International Table Tennis Federation made sure you'd never learn that those rules were rewritten to kill one man's serve. Liu Guoliang's. That's the story they tell. It isn't what happened. Someone made sure you'd never hear this. Here's what the record books were rewritten to hide. In the 1990s, Liu Guoliang wasn't just good. He was unreadable. His serve hid the ball behind his hand at the moment of contact, disguised the spin until it was already past you, and turned rallies into formalities. He won world championships. He won Olympic gold in Atlanta in 1996. Opponents didn't lose points to him. They lost the ability to compete at all. Coaches called his serve a mystery no one could solve. Officials called it something else quietly behind closed doors. By 2001, the rules changed. The ball had to be tossed at least 16 centimeters straight up. No hiding it with your body. No hiding it with your hand. Full visibility every time for every server everywhere. The Federation called it a fix for a boring sport, a way to speed up rallies and make the game watchable for television. That's the official record. But sit with the timing. The rule landed less than a year after Liu Guoliang's serve had made grown professionals look helpless on camera. Coincidence, they said. Just modernization, nothing personal, except it wasn't nothing. Talk to the players who were on tour then off the record and the story changes. They'll tell you the serve rule had a nickname inside training halls before it ever became law, the Liu Guoliang rule, not written down, never official. But everyone knew what problem it was solving. The Federation never once in any statement named him. That's the tell. When a rule targets no one on paper, but everyone understands exactly who it targets, that's not modernization. That's erasure with better paperwork. But here's where the obvious explanation falls apart. If this was really about speeding up the game for television, why did the Federation choose the one fix that happened to neutralize the single most dominant serve on the planet, instead of a dozen other options already on the table? Slower balls, bigger balls, shorter matches. All of those were proposed. All of those were shelved. Only the serve rule moved fast, ratified within a single cycle, rushed through in a way officials rarely rush anything. Something outside the meeting room was applying pressure the minutes never recorded. That pressure had a name too, and it wasn't Liu Guoliang's. It was the broadcasters. European television deals were the sport's lifeline outside Asia, and executives had started quietly complaining that Chinese dominance, powered by serves no camera could even follow, was making the sport unmarketable to Western audiences. Internal Federation correspondence, later described by former officials who spoke only anonymously, framed it plainly. The sport needed a more competitive optic for international markets. Translation: it needed Liu Guoliang to lose more on camera to people who weren't Chinese. The rule wasn't written to fix a boring game. It was written to fix an inconvenient winner. And the Federation buried that motive behind the word modernization, because admitting the truth would have meant admitting they'd changed the rules of a sport to punish being too good at it. Liu Guoliang adapted. He always did. But something ended that year that never came back. The serve that made him untouchable was gone, replaced by a version any junior player could learn to read within a season. His numbers after 2001 still look excellent on paper. They are not the same numbers. And because no rule change ever admits its real target, no record book will ever show you the gap between what he was and what he was allowed to remain. That's the cost of a quiet rule. It doesn't just change the game going forward. It rewrites what the past is allowed to mean. Every young player since who's been told to toss the ball high and visible has been handed a rule with no history attached, no name attached, no reason attached beyond the sport got better. Nobody tells them whose serve it was built to erase. So ask yourself something the Federation never had to answer. If a rule can be written specifically for one man, passed without his name on it, and defended for 2 decades as pure coincidence, how many other rules in how many other sports were built the exact same way, and are still sitting there right now, waiting for someone to notice?